All right. You ready?
Yeah.
I've never had to do an intro. I gotta feel like I have to say, hey. All right, welcome back. It's 2023.
It's good to be here.
You're here with Ben, Sean, and Steve. Antonio is actually started off the new year a little rough. He's been sick for a few weeks, so we dragged Steve from behind the camera to join us.
If you squint, Steve kind of looks like Antonio.
Yeah, if you squint, he's got a great voice.
From a distance.
Yeah.
But he's got the voice of, a radio voice is. If you were
and
on
a face
radio,
for radio, yeah.
You got the face for radio, as they say. Yeah. So thank you, Steve, for sitting with us. We're gonna have a fun episode. We're gonna talk about a lot of the events that we have coming up this year. We have quite a calendar of events from the museum side to the motorsports side and beyond. We just 2023 is going to be quite a year for us, and
I think this could be we keep saying this every year, but this could be the breakout year for the museum.
Oh yeah, I think
this could be our biggest year.
The momentum we're carrying from last year into this year, I think, is quite spectacular. Not only like I said, from the Concours to the motorsport events, we have great cars that we're adding to the collection, which we can talk about, and just the content that we're going to be coming out with. We have some exciting things for our channel, which is, we've almost been on. May will be a year since we started this, which is kind of crazy to think. So a lot of fun things. New year, so it's gonna be good. What are you thinking?
Well, the year, it's been a rough start to the year. Obviously Antonio's sick, but unfortunately we lost kind of a pivotal member of the Audrain community. Very unfortunate to hear at the very end of last year that one of our members, Pedorella, passed away at the young age of 54, 55, and you saw him at Young Timers. He had the great red Ferrari 308. He was dressed up as Magnum PI, and Antonio was pretty close with Chris, and I knew him as well, being a Cars and Coffee regular, and he had so much passion for the Ferrari 308. I think that was his only kind of collector car that he owned, and he was always at Cars and Coffee with a smile on his face. And Antonio mentioned to me the other day that every time he saw Antonio, would Stop and Shop or wherever they bumped into each other, you staying out of trouble, good, stay out of trouble, make sure you stay out of trouble. So it was very sad to hear, and we'll be thinking of Chris, and we're planning on honoring him at Young Timers this year with an award, a Spirit Award, or something of the lot, because he won the event. Yeah, he won the inaugural event. So
he grew a mustache. I mean, he did everything, and I think I remember when Donald saw. Because Donald was the chief judge when he came in, he was like, and he lived the part. He had
the stuffed animals. He had the license plate.
He had the actual license plate from Hawaii. I mean, he was definitely not only a huge advocate to the Audrain, but really represented what we try to represent, at least.
And
possible.
The highest level of car guy that you could get.
Yeah.
I mean, he loved every aspect of it.
Yeah, and he was big in the whole Audrain community and car community around here, and you could always see him talking to new people at Cars and Coffee, and he was a regular. So I mean, he represented exactly what we're trying to do.
I had that one encounter with him at Young Timers, and I was just he was so full of life.
Very sad to see him go. So we'll be thinking of him, and
I'm happy we're going to be doing something.
I agree.
Young Timers, I think that'll be a good legacy.
Yep.
Yeah,
and also, unfortunately, we lost Ken Block, who's a absolute staple of the car world, and he's one of those people, again, unfortunately, died so young, but you don't realize how much of an immense impact Ken Block had on the greater car community. And he touched hundreds of millions of lives, between DC Shoes with Rob Dyrdek in the 90s, then moving into Rallycross with Travis Pastrana and other greats, and then just moving into basically what the freelance realm.
Gymkhana,
starting
I
Hoonigan.
grew up on Gymkhana.
How many Hoonigan stickers do you see on the back of cars
God.
just at
I have
car
a
meets?
Hoonigan license plate cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even if non-car people knew his videos, knew what he did, and for us, we obviously knew. I think for me, what really blew me away was like the way he drove was like in my dreams, I couldn't even drive that.
Yeah,
incredible.
That was the first thing I thought. I mean, I've driven up Pikes Peak.
Oh, the Pikes Peak drive is.
I've driven up Pikes Peak in my car I was going cross country, so at 25 miles an hour, it took us an hour to get up the mountain, and it's like you look over the side, and it's like you're just like white knuckled on the steering wheel. So the picture I think of that, we can throw in here
of the wheel.
He's hanging off the side of Pikes Peak, drifting a corner 10,000 feet above the ground is like astonishing, but it's stuff of legend because you literally can't go back and replicate that stuff.
No. And no one can. No one has that.
Yeah.
And from whatever I don't think any of us have ever met him, but whatever I think Matt Farah wrote it best was he said that like you didn't need to know Ken Block personally to know Ken Block, who he was. So I think that encapsulates him, and I like I said, I think it's just incredibly sad, and it's like one of those things that we luckily have his videos for the rest of time, and I think they'll go down as not only the earliest. He was at the early era of YouTube and really created kind of that crazy, like almost like no budget, like we're gonna just like go nuts and really go after it, but with all the talent in the world. And I think that's what, for me at least, I always get drawn to people who are super talented at what they do.
Well,
and for me, I would always look forward to his videos because it's like, one, it's cars, driving, etc. But he was just made it look so easy.
Well, it made it look so easy, and the talent, yes, of course. And to me, being almost obsessed with logistics at this point in my life, it's like the first one I saw, I think, was the one in San Francisco, and you're watching this like, how do they shut down the entire city of San Francisco? And this guy's like jumping over like roads and then drifting down the whole entire hill. And it's like, where is everybody? It's like they managed to do this in a way that just they did it quickly. They did it efficiently. I mean, we do this filming thing to a pretty high level now, and we've got plans and execute them. But to be able to film something like that where you're shutting down London, shutting down San Francisco. It's just outer-worldly stuff that won't be replicated again. It's stuff of legend.
Well, I think it's a testament to his driving because they're not going to shut the road down for anybody.
For anybody, that's right. No. That's true.
That is, he put it on the wall every time. He put it on the edge every time. He was just, he was a master.
Yeah.
He was an absolute master.
I'll literally think of him in that San Francisco episode like my closing thought of him when I'm thinking about him the last few days is him doing donuts on that barge. As the music plays. Like closing out. It's like you zoom in, he's like doing donuts, and you realize, oh wow, he's on a barge in the middle of the bay. It's like it's just nuts. So sad to see him go, but it makes you think about both with Chris and with Ken, as unfortunate it is, but what kind of community that cars just really encapsulate. And you've got people from all corners of the world, whether you're in Europe or Japan or whatever, cars drifting around crazy turns and shredding rubber. You don't need to speak any kind of language. You just watch it, and it brings all kinds of people together.
It makes sense.
And it really hit me when Ken passed away, because it's like, oh my God, probably 500 million people have watched that video. Yeah. And it's crazy.
And like you said, with the community aspect, like, I think car people, we really love, like we're most of us very detail oriented, love our cars, and we really are passionate and have a deep connection to our cars. And I think when we see people who, like Ken, who are on a whole different level of ability and can take cars to that level, I think it's like, it hits a little bit harder because it's, it's just like, it's like a void a little bit. I don't know.
He was outer-worldly. Like, I could talk about it all day, and I think we got other stuff we want to touch on in 40 minutes, but it was just the way, I haven't seen that sort of social media response to a death in a
long time.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, granted, everyone I follow has something to do with cars.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
And
but still, I mean, everyone, bringing like auction houses are putting things out. Like, it was, you're right. I mean, that just shows you the legacy of.
Well, because the Hoonigan Media Division was really what started cars being big on YouTube.
Yeah.
It really was. And that was like maybe a decade ago or more.
Yeah, just about. Maybe a little bit less.
Yeah.
That they really started focusing on it.
Yeah. And it was always high quality stuff and just crazy.
Yeah. From the burn yards all the way to the streets with Gymkhana. It was just
it's nuts.
Insane.
Sad to see him go. And it's one of those things where it's like you got to kind of give people their flowers while they're here, or you may not get a chance to.
Yep.
It's terrible to think about, but we that's why we enjoy what we do at the museum, and that and all the events that we do, because it brings people together from like all corners of the car world.
Mm-hmm.
And this year for us, we can have more of that than ever before.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, we're super excited. We're going out to literally in 2 weeks. I think we're heading out to Scottsdale. We've got on the Linkage magazine side of things, we've got a seminar out there, and I think we're going to be out there promoting the Concours as well, and connecting with people and spreading the word. Kind of the old grassroots way.
Yeah.
That's how we're starting the year. And then
well, you can speak on this a little bit. We're starting to get applications rolling in for Concours.
Oh yeah. We've got a good handful of cars already applied. Donald and Nick are working their magic, recruiting and making a lot of calls. But yeah, we're looking at another probably full field of 185, 190 cars this fall.
That's fantastic.
And it's funny because it's not. So, I don't know, from the outside view, it may seem like you just what I said was hello. What I said was, Siri, from an outside view, it may seem like you just show up and there's a bunch of cars parked in a field and oh great, in a car show, but literally the next year's work starts during the process of the previous year, because you're always talking to these people. What cars do you have? This is the next year's classes. Do you have anything that fits? Do your friends have anything that fits? So it's this constant kind of rotisserie, to use a word I used with Sam earlier. I'm saying I need a rotisserie in front of my fire at home so I can just like bake to a nice like golden glaze. We're gonna work on that as an invention, but it's just this kind of rotating assembly of connections and networking and finding the right cars and filling the classes, and then if someone drops, you have to fill the class. So it's a fun thing for Nick and Donald to be fully engaged in, with me kind of answering the emails. so on the back end, I see everybody's in, and it's really fun.
Well, I mean, your work comes later.
Oh,
during
yeah.
Concours week, you are on it.
We got to put the show on. That's the fun
emails
part.
Is fine for now.
Yeah, emails is great. Gives me a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's in the works. We got a full motorsport calendar coming up. We got some crazy track days. I don't think they're fully finalized yet, but not the tracks that are just around the corner that you'd expect.
Yeah, so those will be full of excitement, and Cars and Coffee too, right?
Dude, Cars and Coffee is going to be nuts this year.
Every weekend.
I think we have 20, I want to say 26 Cars and Coffee or members or evening events throughout the summer.
That's about 10 more.
We're adding 10 events.
Yeah.
We're finalizing. Probably a number of you were at the events at the end of the year last year, but we were at Second Beach, which is super fun. And they're going to be paving their parking lot. So it's going to be all nice and fresh nice
pavement
and nice.
For us.
Yes, not for us. No, no, you cannot destroy their pavement. That would ruin our relationship, Steve, with your Mustang.
Everybody knows the
Knowing
rules.
Steve, you'd crash into the porta potties that we rented out as well. So that would not go well.
Knowing me, okay.
Poo everywhere. But yeah, a lot of stuff coming on. So it's going to be a fun year. We have
Veteran Car Tour coming up.
I keep saying this. I think that's my favorite event.
I know, that's what I was going to say.
Like in an operations standpoint.
I'm glad you said it, because I feel like I can't say it, because I've only done one Concours.
Oh, well, yeah. Well.
Were you here for the Veteran Car Tour? I don't remember.
I was here for the Veteran Car Tour.
It's been a while.
And I'm not, I didn't think I was into those cars until I heard a Pierce coming.
Yeah.
That changed everything.
Well, that's what happens.
Veteran Car Tour became my favorite day of the year.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens is, like, I think for me too, we talked about it early in one of the podcasts, maybe the first or second one was, how my affinity for early cars has tremendously grown, and it's kind of what I gravitate towards to now. I always gravitate towards the Porsches, but after Porsche, I feel like, you know, the early stuff is really what I've been enjoying.
It's
and I
so
think it's
cool.
once you're surrounded by it, I don't think there's many people we're fortunate enough where we're surrounded by these cars, especially, you know, all generations of cars, but the early stuff, there's not many collections like this.
No.
So to really, and the people that are brought in, like Evan Ide, who is, we've talked about before, who's coming back for a seminar this week, actually, at the museum. And then he's going to, of course, be hopefully a guest on this before the Veteran Car Tour. But, you know, he's just watching him operate on, and the knowledge that he has on these cars, these early cars. And early, I mean, you know, 1900, 1902, the cars that were all so different. There were so many brands of cars, and there was no standardization of everything. So, you know, Winton's had a different system than, you know, a Roush & Lang electric car, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that's what's so fascinating, is just seeing early mechanical, essentially masterpieces.
Yeah.
And having such, I would say this group, veteran car groups or enthusiasts, are the most enthusiastic car people there are.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, watching that event unfold and watching everybody tend to their cars, running their cars, keeping them running for the entirety of the day. You watch the people working on them, and they're always communicating, but they're never like us. We'll go to a car show and just shoot the shit and talk about whatever. But it's like when they're communicating, they're figuring out how to accomplish tasks like the entire day. They're
problem solving.
Yeah, they're problem solving the entire day.
It's the only event that I'm aware of, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, where you go into the drive expecting and knowing your car is going to break down.
Yeah. Maybe on like the Paris to Dakar.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking, you know.
But yeah, on a homegrown level,
like your outfit, you're outfitted for any possible, you know, outcome.
Yeah.
And like the thrill of finishing is so satisfying, because it's more of a battle than, you know, you just get in, turn your heated seat on.
Yeah.
Drive.
Yeah.
There's a beauty to that too, but this is a completely different.
And
piece.
there's always an appreciation of seeing them in the museum and admiring them, you know, from a distance. But until you're up close and hearing them run and watching the oil being thrown everywhere, and just feeling the ambiance of these old cars and what it took to run them, really helps put in perspective what they were for. Like, people weren't just driving cars to work.
Yeah, they were taking on a life. They're like their own little. Yeah, it's crazy.
And the great thing about this is people can come out, stand on the side of the road and watch these cars go by.
Yeah.
I mean, something that a lot of people don't get to experience, and the fact that we do this is amazing.
Yeah, yeah, and we put the route out, and you can kind of chase the cars and pass the route and catch them at different points. It's really cool.
It's something to see these cars in
motion. So that, like you guys both said, I think that's surprisingly become my favorite event.
Well, it's funny. I always tell the story to people. Like, when I first heard about the museum, it was my dad and my sister actually kind of tipped me off about it. So it's like, all right, we're in the museum, and it was all pre-work cars in the museum. So I literally parked, looked in the window, and then turned around and left. Yeah. It's like it was so foreign. It was like I
did the same thing.
I have no idea what I'm looking at. It's like nothing. And then a few months later, I saw the F40 in there, and I was like,
okay,
gravitated in. But it's you have to see them operate, and you have to spend time with them, and it's great.
Some cool cars coming to the collection, which will be fun to see.
Can you
can disclose that.
Toss us a bone here?
I don't know. What do you want to know?
I don't know. I want to know if any big deal cars are coming in.
Well, there's always we're always looking to continue to expand, and Porsche is always one of those.
Porsche. I know
one
Steve's
of those areas.
You have my attention.
Listen, I know Steve's a big Corvette guy.
I do.
Oh, that's right, a Corvette.
What are we talking?
I think we have.
We gotta pry this out of Sean, or else he keeps it to himself.
Is there a new? There's, from what I understand, there's a Z06.
There is a Z06.
Oh, okay. There might be one of those coming. I don't know. We'll have to see.
All right.
You have to follow us on social media to.
Check out the Audrain Museum Network. But as soon as that car comes in, there will be a video. I promise.
But our account, I think our podcast Instagram account is turning into like the true like behind the scenes of what's going on.
For sure.
Well, if you see a big orange truck coming from California,
don't follow it. Do not follow it to her. We had a little situation.
It may have something that Steve really likes in it, so we'll have to see when that's arriving. Maybe do a little behind the scenes for you.
Excited.
Are you like Steve? Are you like a Ford guy, like true and true, or like what's the deal? Like, you got to lay this out real quick.
So I grew up with muscle. That was
muscle or muscle cars.
Muscle cars.
Okay, just had to
muscle cars. Yeah. So my uncle worked for Chevrolet during the C6 era.
Mm-hmm.
He did the C6 headlights.
Mm-hmm.
He did the.
Oh, really? So he's like a designer.
He did
basically.
He was mostly on the electrical side of things. So
that's cool. Yeah.
He worked for Sylvania.
Oh, okay.
But he was
big
on
light bulb guy.
Yeah.
He did the taillights for the 2011 Ford Mustang.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And he had a C4 Vet. So I grew up with him being the only guy. I mean, my dad was into cars, but
there's a difference.
There's a difference between being into cars and really knowing cars and being in that industry.
Yeah.
So he fostered that for sure. And it was always like, here's an RC car of a Corvette, or here's a Mustang. I had a yellow C6 Corvette and a gray 67 Mustang RC car.
Yeah.
So that's what I grew up with.
We need a picture, muscle. Sam. We need a picture of Steve's truck now. He's got a.
You're listening to have.
He's got the most but he's got the most baller dad truck that you wouldn't expect. He's got this like 20. What year is it?
2008.
2008 Chevy Avalanche in silver.
Avalanche.
But he's got like a full exhaust on it and like one of these things.
Pedal Commander.
Yeah. The Pedal Commander 3000.
Yeah. Pedal Commander.
Which gives you like what? Instant throttle response?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Dude, I saw Steve on the ride home one day from work and he's doing like he's going very fast.
mid 2000s GM and Chevy were the best.
Oh yeah.
Nothing was better.
Yeah.
Like a rock.
Just absolutely putting out every panel gaps this wide. It was the best.
I missed the Avalanche.
Steve's next car is going to be an SSR.
I hope they don't bring it back because it's just
you're going to get an
SSR,
the Woody. Didn't they make a Woody SSR?
Oh God, no. That's the worst thing they've ever done.
Or you're going to get like you're going to get the what is it? The Saturn Sky.
What about the HHR Panel Van SS?
Yes, please.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
I'm so glad Sam has a mic now.
Sam, why don't you get that and then we can be Chevy brothers?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Felicia Fun over the SSR.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, so I split the difference. I got the Chevy truck and then the Ford toy. I got the Mustang for the weekends.
I don't know if I've ever seen your Mustang.
I don't think you have.
You brought it to Young Timers.
I brought it to Young
I
Timers.
judged it.
Have then. What is it?
It's a 1995 SVT
Nice.
Cobra.
I walked up to Steve, judging him. I'm like, Steve, you got some tough competition out here in the field today.
I did. I didn't expect to win. There were some great cars out there, and I hope we get those great cars this year.
Yeah,
I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
I'm sure we will.
I think we're gonna blow it out of the water this year for Young Timers.
Yeah.
So is that 350R like?
Oh my God.
Is that your car?
Shelby GT350 is probably the greatest car Ford's ever made, in my opinion.
What generation?
I just think
all generations.
S550.
Yeah.
S550.
That car, when that car came out, that GT350R.
Yeah, I remember when that came out too. I
that
wanted
was
it
like
so bad.
I forget. It was maybe Matt Farrow drove it or someone up there and was like, "This is not just a Mustang, that you're used to. That just goes straight and
real
really fast."
Deal.
Yeah,
race cars.
Real deal.
Race cars for the street for sure.
Mm-hmm. Those are
pretty much
awesome.
has slicks on it too. Yeah, so you're ready to go.
And look at it; it's gorgeous.
Yeah, and it sounds that was one of the best cold starting
that
cars that we have.
Crank V8, just oof.
Speaking
of my Mustang, it's either on a trailer or at the shop right now, with probably a broken diff.
She's a broke.
Oh, I thought you were gonna Tesla swap it.
No, definitely not. Absolutely not. Maybe a 347 or something.
Yeah, Sean can make that happen.
That's funny.
Sean can make a couple calls. But yeah, that about takes us through the spring.
Yeah.
You know, we got Cars and Coffee all summer as usual. We have a wooden vehicle exhibition, I'll say, in the museum coming up.
Well, aren't there going to be boats too?
We have boats in the museum.
That's why we're here. We got the Isotta.
Is that why we're here?
Yeah, that's why I chose here, because you get the beautiful wooden cars.
Oh, it does have some wood.
This one is going to be in the exhibit.
Is it?
I believe so.
That Isotta? No, it would be this one.
Is it that one? whatever the Fleetwood Roadster is.
That's
Oh,
that
that
one.
one.
That one.
Yeah.
See,
Oh,
you know
that's
more
news
about
to
them
me.
than I do.
I didn't know
Yes.
that. You're
great.
you're in the know,
Yes.
as
Well,
they say.
Steve's done his internal research.
I
Yeah.
edited the video, so I hope so.
Oh, well, there you go. That's why. That's why. That'll be a fun show. We got a few. We're connected with the Herreshoff Museum and Iris here in town, and I think we're going to be loaning a few wooden boats. I mean, this is one of those shows where you wish you had twice as much gallery space, and then you could
Right, but
just
then
show more, but
it's the challenge that I like to see you go through.
it sucks.
Trying to fit all
It
that
sucks
stuff
because
in the
you're just
museum.
always missing stuff. And, like for the Young Timers show, it's like, or the Supercar show, really, it was like, well, where's the F50? It's like, you see, we only have
Yeah, but
Yeah.
when you pull
Room
it
for
There's
off-
always going to be a missing car. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter how
it's
big
like,
the museum
sorry.
is.
Always, but what
I'm
you
not
guys
done.
pull off is amazing.
No, it's fun. It'll be a cool show because it's all about how these vehicles are constructed and built. And I think we're looking at, I don't think you see the Scarab back there, but we've got like a wooden buck for the old Scarab race cars that
Nice.
might come through for us. That'll kind of show you more of like the process of like how these cars are built, because it's
Mhm.
not just like
That's cool.
I
it's like
love
3D
those.
printed.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was an immense process.
Yeah.
So that's opening in March.
Much.
And that'll run through June. We're staying
and
busy.
then there's an exciting show after that.
What was it again? I'll let you unveil it. I
I
can't
don't
keep it
remember.
I believe
Isn't
that's
it the 30th?
That's the cars of 30 years, right? Or 30,
Oh, that is,
30
yeah,
years,
yeah, yeah.
Not
The-
30 years.
No, it's
geez.
the 30 their 30th
30th exhibit.
30th
yeah.
exhibition.
Yeah.
Mhm,
All the
mhm.
favorites.
I
And,
can't
and
speak.
That'll be fun. We're gonna have to make some.
What are you doing?
Not me,
Siri
dude.
is,
Siri wants to be on the podcast. I
yeah.
don't know what to tell her.
Brought to you by Apple.
Not plugging.
The funny, I think we've talked about. I don't think our people understand what goes into a show and how much discussion goes into our shows.
Yeah.
I think the 30th 30. What is it? What's the name of it?
It's the best of
Stars
30.
of 30.
Stars of 30.
Stars of 30. Yeah, I know it
Stars
has.
of
It's
been
not
publicly
30
released.
under 30. I'll
No,
tell you
no,
that.
no.
It's not 30 under 30. But the
We can
Up.
we can
the
get
sto-
We'll
keep
get
that
there.
in mind. We'll get there.
the stars of the 30 past shows, I should say, or 29 past shows. There's going to be everyone's going to have an opinion.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm happy.
call it 15
because-
cars a show times 30, and we got to pick not even one a show.
Yeah.
Everyone, it's going to be fun. I'm looking
On my
forward to
end, you
seeing
did a
what's
great
going to.
job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the Afterburner's coming back. That was,
Oh, it is? Is
So
that
the
good?
first exhibition I ever saw at the museum was the one that Ring Brothers Afterburners.
Yeah.
And,
I'd have to, dude, the quality. If
The
you don't know
quality
who
of cars that
Ring
they
Brothers
build.
is, they're a company that really excels in building cars for events like SEMA. Everything is custom.
everything.
And the only thing I say to
it's
people is, like, if I'm in front of that car with somebody, I'll say, just look at what is holding the sun visors into place. And
my
they're
God,
these, like,
it's
CNC
insane.
machined.
These billet
like,
pieces
angular, yeah,
everywhere.
billet.
It's all built like
It's like, just look at that
They're
and then understand they did
fantastic
this
vehicles.
with every aspect of the car.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the
Where do they
things
build
that
them?
hold this up.
uh,
I don't know, west somewhere.
yeah, I think they're
You
out
can look
west.
it up. We'll throw that in there.
Yeah.
Another
Sam,
task for
show
Sam.
I stumped
every
them.
single picture that we have of Afterburner. They're gorgeous. Just
Love Sam.
every. All right.
Sam's like, Citroen
make
DS,
sure you-
got it.
I'm going to do this, so you have to put it in with the hood open. Oh, they're fantastic.
That's a great
cars.
car. That'll be a fun show. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
of discussion.
Yeah.
A lot of discussion will go into that one. Everybody has a hot take.
Yeah, but that's the good part about it. It's a rotating museum.
Oh yeah,
So
come back for more.
if you don't
baby.
like that
it's like a
exhibition,
traveling circus.
I guarantee there's going to be one coming up for you that you will enjoy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that'll bring us right to Pebble, which we will be at. We got some
Yep.
cars going, so
We have 3 cars going to Pebble again.
yeah. It's
Three
gonna
car-
be-
Can we disclose
No.
that? No.
No,
Okay.
we cannot.
What are you
Wow.
nuts?
I don't know.
That will not be disclosed,
Okay.
but you will find out. And yeah, I think last year was a big year, obviously, with the 904 taking first in its class, and we're sending out some more heavy hitters.
Mm.
So I think it'll be a good year at Pebble too.
That was one of the most incredible moments of my year last year, watching absolute expert judges try their best to pick apart the 904 and just couldn't find anything that was unoriginal to the car.
Oh, you could tell in the video that we have of you there's like little moments of giddiness where they go and look for something and they don't find it, and you're like, yeah, it's perfect.
Dude, I'm standing there. I don't even know if I've watched that video, but I'm standing there holding the archive book while like Donald and Simon Kidston, one of the judges, just like flip through it. And I'm like, like watching this happen. And at one point they said they were kind of wrapping it up, and they started it and then shut it off. And then there was an expert Porsche judge, and then Simon, and then another gentleman. And the expert was like, oh, we need to open the front hood. And they open the front hood. And he looks around. And he's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, guys, it has the original horsehair insulation around the gas tank. And I'm like, this thing had horsehair in there, and it's still there. And then they're like, oh, I got to look in the interior. And I'm like, oh, what could this be? And he opens up the door, and he looks up, and he goes, oh, wow, it even has the original headliner. It's like, none of these cars have headliner. They were race cars.
Yeah.
And it was this has to be the only 904 in the world that was bought with the intention of being preserved for the rest of its life. I think in part of that...
Well, I don't know if that was... I think it was... Yeah.
Well,
I don't know if he... I don't know. I would like to have a conversation with him. Obviously, we can't, but...
Preserved, but he took great
care of it.
And,
but there's one piece of info that's interesting that came with the car in its sort of archive box or whatever you want to call it, is that there was this 904 registry that was around during the 70s or 80s, and it had a list of every owner, their address, where they lived, which is nuts to me.
Yeah.
And what they're doing with the car. So it was like, Bill Smith, Porsche 904, weekend racer, SCCA competitions, long distance rallies.
Yep.
And it came to Nick Begovich. Nick Begovich, California, car is sitting in a garage or something like that, just like not moving.
That's what it said.
That's what he reported. Basically, like cars being preserved or something along those lines. And I can pull it up and find the exact wording, but it was like he knew then it was special.
Oh yeah.
And took great care of it. Like, hopefully for a moment like this where it shines. And his family was at Pebble, like watching the car.
See, that's
when it
watching.
was first in class.
Yeah, and we they were tagging us on social media, and it was, oh, this is a great thing. And it was like, he kind of like lives on through this. Like, this is how great he took care of the car.
Yeah.
Like, all we had to do was like flush the oil, flush the fluids, and give it a tune-up, and it's like ready to go. Like, it wasn't abused in any way.
Yeah. And when Jeff Adams, who from Sweet Sport Tuning, who's Jeff and Matt Rosati, who essentially all they did was, went through the motor. Obviously, it had bean oil, so certain components were gone. But when they took the motor apart, and I would go there and see the motor apart, and Jeff, who is the 4Cam currently, and I would argue in the world, there's no one else like him. He's the 4Cam guy, and
it's brilliant.
He said it was almost like taking apart a brand new motor and everything was perfect. Everything was stamped perfectly. He never seen anything like it. And when he drove it, he said it was like this. He's like, I've driven a lot of 904s. This is the only one I've actually driven that has felt like a 904 from right off the line, right off the factory. And he said it's always going to be one of the best things he's ever done is that car, just because of how original and unmolested it was.
And it's such a primitive machine.
Yeah.
It's like you look in there, it's like got these cloth seats, and everything about it
the
is...
The pedals move, the seats don't move.
Yeah, it's just it's very relatively simple thing.
Built.
It's it's purpose built. Yeah. And a guy like Jeff being able to say that, it's like, oh my God, it's kind of crazy to think about.
I mean, he said, he has one car that's ahead of this. I won't say what car it is, and it's only because he's been taking care of it pretty much his entire career. But right after that, it's this, as far as his favorite things that he's ever done.
That was a fun memory. And what was really fun was when it came back from Pebble, there was, a month until the Concours, and we had it on a platform right at the gathering. So you should have seen this operation. We kind of got wind of this. It was like, oh, we want to put the...
It was like the week of
it was like the week of, like, oh, we want to put the platform out there, because in the museum, it was on this special platform that Marvin and Elijah made, and we were like, oh, let's get the platform to the gathering. So right in the entrance, you can see it. So it's like, oh my God.
Getting the platform is the whole thing.
The transporting a 904 is one thing. But transporting a platform that doesn't fit on a flatbed.
I was like, I'm just going to strap it down.
We made it.
Yeah, we made it work.
And Sean puts this platform down, and we're lining it up, and it's like, hold on, let me check to see if it's right, because you want to make sure it's right from the entrance, so people come in and they see the right angle of the car, but from the back of the field, if you're looking out, you want to be able to see it, kind of a glimpse of it, so it's like, we're all over the place, like, don't drop that platform yet, we got to make sure it's lined up. It was this whole thing, and that was, that was like,
back, like, not really,
it's not exactly
sketchy, but
it's kind of sketchy moving that platform.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that until we picked it up after.
A lot of those memories. Yeah, yeah. But that 904 is something else, and it's hard for me, being such a Porsche enthusiast, not saying that's my favorite. It's so hard because it's such a.
We should just have a designated Porsche segment of every episode, because we end up talking about them.
We gotta have a Porsche episode or something, because it's. We love it so much that we hate it.
Yeah, we love how much we hate Porsche.
It encompasses so much of our mental abilities. It's just like...
Well, it's so funny because I was watching...
Porsche, go to bed, Porsche.
Yeah, Porsche sheets.
I can't remember
Porsche
who it was. I was watching a YouTube video, and it was a car channel, and it was a famous journalist getting asked questions. I can't remember who it was. But anyway... The guy asking the journalist the question, he goes, so between Ferrari or Lamborghini, which one is better? And the guy, he just goes, Porsche.
Yeah.
Well, I realized it was a problem between us when Sean goes, if you could get one car for Christmas, what would it be? And we all like, I hate that I'm saying this, but it's a Porsche. And Ben Taradash was there. It's like, you idiots, there are so many millions of cars over the last 120 years, and you picked Porsches from the last 20, and we're like... Yeah,
it's a problem. We know it's a problem.
We're obsessed. There's a reason. Every time we say there's a reason.
They're
the best cars in the world.
Good.
Yeah.
And I think what Porsche is doing right now, you could argue it both ways, where they're making such limited numbers, they're impossible to get the cars, whatever. But the cars that they are making are out of control.
And selling, there's so much demand for them. Like they can't sell them fast enough.
Like the 911 Dakar, what?
Yeah.
Like what other brand is going to do that?
No. And Sean and I were...
Huh?
Lamborghini.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, well...
Yeah. We're taking Sam's mic away.
But even, Sean and I were having a private conversation about what's in the future for Porsche. I think Sean has some intel on that, and it's like, they know how to tap into the market, and they understand what people want to see and buy.
They just make cars people want to buy, that are so enjoyable to drive, and you can just... I don't know. It's embarrassing, I know. But
this has been a Porsche segment with BSS.
But I mean, we have quite a few Porsches coming this year, and I'm very excited about. I think we'll all be very excited about the ones that are going to be joining the collection. And
you want to,
I mean, if you've seen what's been released in the past year, I mean, I'll let you
take a guess.
Yeah, I'll let you make a guess.
We have new toys for Cars and Coffee season.
Yes. Yeah. The first one's coming next month.
That's exciting.
Actually, two are coming next month.
That's exciting.
So maybe we'll do a little. Can you guess which ones they are?
Yeah.
Maybe we should do
We'll never be able to guess the spec. That's something.
Dude,
I will
maybe
say.
we should do, if we get a car in, maybe we should do like an ABS
that's a good idea.
Unveiling event, or like live podcast with the car, and we do it about the car, answer Q&As, whatever.
That'd be cool.
That would be fun.
Yeah,
that's a good idea. We're just adding to our little calendar in our year.
You guys are in a
recap.
Brainstorm session now.
I know.
Maybe you guys can drive it. We'll see.
Let's
we'll
take one step at a time.
But yeah, I think this year there's a lot that we're going to cover on this podcast. We have a couple special, I want to say, almost like a series.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. We won't.
We can talk about it.
Yeah, okay.
We can talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, if you want.
Budget battle. So
this is hot off the press.
These two and Antonio, when he's back and healthy, we're going to give him a little budget, and they're going to go and find a car and fix it up, and
we're going to battle like Beyblades.
Maybe battle, maybe go on a little drive down south. We'll figure it out. But
Cannonball.
For me, this is going to be fun because I think, from what I understand, the place to buy cars right now is Facebook Marketplace. I don't have Facebook.
Oh, yeah. Sean doesn't have Facebook. Sean was trying to sell his F-250 recently. He's like, what should I do? I'm like, oh, yeah, you don't have Facebook. That's kind of
tough. But, so that's going to be coming out, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And
I'm just so stoked for that.
We're gonna have a lot of fun with that.
I think I'm going to end up with the slowest car. What do you think?
Knowing you, probably not.
Well,
I feel like Sean might end up with the slowest car.
Yeah, but I'm still gonna win.
Well, that's the thing.
It's not true.
It's going to be slow and pretty.
It's going to be slow and pretty.
It's going to be slow and
Are
pretty.
you trying to allude to something?
I wouldn't call you slow.
That's how I like them. Slow and pretty.
Yeah, so that's going to be coming out. And, we have exciting guests coming, like I was saying.
Matt Fair's going to be back for the Veteran Tour.
He's going to be back.
I think he's going to do another of his podcasts here. We're hoping to have him on ours.
Yeah, that would be great.
It'll be fun. Take some pointers from Uncle Matt.
Slap him in a car.
That was crazy last year.
Watching
him recap that. If you haven't watched Matt's podcast that he recorded in this building.
That? No, probably not. But go and look it up.
You can link it.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
let's link that.
Yeah, you can link it.
Him
we have the
recapping
technology.
going down the hill in a veteran car is hilarious.
He was literally like, I couldn't take my hands off of the steering wheel to put my hat on.
No.
Like the thing would just
Mount
dart.
Hope Bridge is nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, to drive a veteran car over like that tall, going that slow, you're looking over the railing.
Scary. It's a real that whole event is such a challenge. It's like if you've been to everything else we do and you're wondering what else do they do that's exciting, come to the Veteran Car Tour.
Come to that, yeah.
And like get up close with the cars and like smell the oil and watch them run. And then you see them come over the Mount Hope Bridge and it's like, how did they make it over this bridge going 8 miles an hour?
And what's exciting about that this year is we're starting on Bellevue.
Oh yeah, we're shutting down Bellevue for this.
2 times.
Yeah,
we're shut down.
Yeah, we're shutting down Bellevue Ave, like the tour. It's gonna be crazy.
This is gonna be great.
So it's gonna be a big send off, big party. Hope we bring a bunch of people in to see it, and it'll be legit
for sure.
And it's in April this year. Last year was frigid.
It was a little nippy.
Cold this time around.
There were no fair weather players though. Everybody came out.
What are we at?
47 minutes.
All right.
No way.
Yeah.
Sam just told us we've been recording for 47 minutes, and we enjoy this so much it feels like we just sat down. Oh my god. I think that about wraps it up for this week.
Yeah.
First show at 23, Jordan year. We got a lot planned. We're gearing up for it. We feel the momentum starting to pick up for the spring.
Absolutely.
We got a couple things to close out with.
Why don't we link the calendar of events for this year to this video? We have quite like we were talking about, we have quite the calendar this year.
There's
and we're
definitely
excited.
stuff that we missed because we end up talking about cars, and that's
we
what
end up ending talking about
Donald,
Porsches is what really
we put out a video with Donald last week or earlier this week recapping everything that's going to happen in 2023. So go watch the New Year at Audrain video with Donald, and he'll tell you what we have coming up. And we hope you can join us for some events. And
you better join us for some events. We don't do boring events. Everything's great.
Yeah,
so
I want to see you at Veteran Car Tour.
them?
I'm threatening everybody.
Watch
If you have the patience to watch us idiots talk about cars, you can come watch the Veteran Car Tour and come to Cars and Coffee.
Yeah.
And the Motor Week.
I really want people to come to Veteran Car Tour.
Veteran Car Tour.
I want that to blow up this year.
Yeah.
There is no other event like London to Brighton.
No.
Like that in this country.
No.
Yeah. Fabulous.
Yeah.
Perfect place to end.
Perfect.
I better see you around.
We'll see you.
Are you threatening them? Yeah.